To show you how to create an A/B single subject research design graph using Microsoft Office Excel 2007. The first thing you're going to do is go to your Startup menu, click on Microsoft Office Excel 2007, and that should generate a blank file that looks like this. You're going to work from this file, and I'm going to be working from a pre-existing file. We are going to be creating this A/B single subject research design graph today in our tutorial. The first thing that you will need to do is to enter in these data. In column A, you will see the session data for 1 through 22, and column B are the data for biting behavior. And in column C, I like to have a notes section so I can indicate when baseline started, when the behavior intervention plan started, if there were any changes to the behavior plan, or anything that might account for some variability that you see within your data. So please go ahead, take a second to enter in these data, pause the tutorial, and when you're ready, resume with the tutorial. Alright, the first thing you're going to do is highlight your data. Go to the Insert tab, click on Line, click on 2D Line with Markers. Now to make sure it's the same size graph as the graph to the right, you're going to start the graph in the top of D2. Then you will drag the graph to the bottom of L19. Now it's the same size graph. Okay, now let's start formatting. First thing we need to do is get rid of the legend. So left click on the legend and then click the delete button. Now we need to get rid of the major grid lines. So left click on the major grid lines and then click delete. Now let's format our data series. Click on the data series, then right click and hit Format Data Series. Go to Marker Fill, go to Solid, and select black. The reason for selecting black is because it's the most common color that will show across all printers. Next, go to Line Color, click Solid, click on Black. Then go to Marker Line Color, click on Solid, then click on Black if it's not already selected, and click Close. Now all of your data should be in black. Now let's format the Y and X-axis scales. So let's start with the X-axis. Click on the X-axis scale and then right click, hit Format Axis. You're going to go to Major Tick Mark Type, click None, Minor Tick Mark Type, click Outside, and then make sure your position axis, the between tick marks, is clicked, and then click Close. Now that should be formatted the same. Now to make it the same size, go to Home, and select 12 for the font size. Now let's go to the Y-axis scale. Left click, then right click, then hit Format Axis. Fixed, you're going to type in for minimum, -1. And this is so if you have any data that show at 0, you'll clearly be able to see that on your graph. Maximum, 25. Major unit, we're going to do 1. And minor unit is going to be 1. Now if you have data that end up going above 25, you can always make the adjustment later. Major tick mark type, you're going to leave the same for the minor, same for the axis labels. When you get to axis value, you're going to type in -1, and what this will do is allow the 0 to be raised up off of the x-axis. Again, so you're going to be able to clearly see any data that fall at 0. And you can see that that is what happened. Now, in order to make sure that the font size is correct, you're going to go to Home and click on 12. Okay, now as you can see, the -1 is showing and you don't want the -1 to show. So you're going to want to make sure you click on your graph, make sure to click on the graph, go to Insert, click on Shapes, click on Text Box, and you're going to draw a text box around the -1. Now you're going to right click on the text box and click Format Shape. Go to Line Color, or go to Fill, go to Solid Fill, go to White, go to Line Color, make sure there's no line, and then when you click off, you shouldn't be able to see the -1. Now, try moving your graph, and when you move your graph, the box should go with your graph. If the box does not go with your graph, what that means is that you were not clicked on the graph when you drew that box. And so it's really important to make sure that whenever you're drawing on your graph or inserting anything into your graph that you are clicked onto your graph so that that box or that drawing becomes part of your graph. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to enter in our axis titles. So to do that, again, click on your graph, go to Layout, go to Axis Titles, go to Primary Horizontal Axis Title, click Title below Axis. Type in Session, hit Enter, and then highlight that and change the font size to 14. Okay, now let's do the Y-axis scale title, and you will do the same steps for that. You'll go to Layout, click on Axis Title, go to Primary Vertical Axis Title, click on Rotated Title, and type in Frequency of Biting. Hit Enter, highlight, go to Home, and click on 14. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to separate our data from baseline to intervention. In order to do that, we need to click on the first data point of intervention, and only that data point. Once you've clicked on that, right-click and hit Format Data Point. Go to Line Color and select No Line. That should separate the data. Now, to make a clear distinction between baseline and intervention, you're going to need to draw a phase line. Again, make sure you're clicked on your graph, go to Insert, go to Shapes, go to Line, and draw a line from the top to the bottom. Then click on the line, hit Format Shape, go to Line Color again, select black to be consistent, go to Line Style, and I like to select the fourth dash type. And you can make adjustments to your line if you need to. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is enter in our condition labels and our participant identifier. To do that, again, make sure you're clicked on the graph, go to Insert, go to Shapes, go to Text Box, draw a text box, type in baseline, highlight, and change the font to 14. Then you're going to copy that box 2 times. And then you'll drag the boxes to where you would like them to be. In this box, we're going to type in BIP. And this box is going to serve as our participant identifier. Drag that to the bottom corner and type in Amy. And then you can adjust the box size, just grabbing that square and dragging it over. Okay, now as you can see, our plot area is a little bit smaller than the plot area on the graph to the right, and because of all the formatting, we've lost the box on the -1. So in order to change the plot size, you're going to just click on it and then grab this little circle and adjust it accordingly. And then you just need to find that box and move it. And now let's compare our graphs. As you can see, they're the same. And this is how you make an A/B single subject research design graph using Microsoft Office Excel 2007. I'm going to show you how to make this ABAB or Reversal Single Subject Research Design graph using Microsoft Office Excel 2007. The first thing you need to do is pause the tutorial, go to your Startup menu, open up Microsoft Office Excel, and then a blank file should appear, and you're going to enter in these data as they appear. Once you've done that, go ahead and resume with the tutorial. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to highlight these data. We're going to go to Insert, we're going to go to Line, and go to 2D Line with Markers. This graph should appear. Now to make sure it's the same size graph as our example graph to the right, we're going to go to the corner of D2 and drag it down to the corner of K16. It's the same size graph. Now let's start formatting. Click on the legend, and then left click, and then click delete. Click on the major grid lines, left click, and then click delete. Format the data series by left clicking, then right click, format data series, marker fill, go to solid fill, select black. And the reason for selecting black is because it's the most visible color regardless of printer. Go to line color, select solid line, select black. Go to marker line color, select solid line, select black, then click close. Now everything about your data series should appear in black: the data point, the line, and around the data point. Okay, now let's format our x-axis and y-axis scales. Let's start with the x-axis. Left click, then right click, then hit Format Axis. For major tick mark type, select None. For minor tick mark type, select Outside. For the position axis, select between tick marks, then click Close. To make sure that it's the same font size, go to Home and select 12. Now it should look exactly like the scale on our example. Go to the y-axis, left click, right click, select Format Axis. Go to Fix, type in -5. And this is so that we can raise our y-axis scale off of the x-axis, and any data that appear at 0 will be visible. Maximum, select 80. Major, select 5. Minor unit, select 5. Axis value, -5. And then select Close. And as you can see, our y-axis scale is now raised up off of the x-axis. Now to get rid of this -5, because we don't want it visible, make sure you click on the graph, go to Insert, go to Shapes, go to Text Box, and draw a text box over the -5. Right click on the text box, select Format Shape, go to Fill, go to Solid Fill, and select White. Go to Line Color, make sure no line is selected, and then click Close. When you click off of the graph, you should not be able to see the -5. And if you move your graph, the text box should go with. And if it doesn't, then that means you weren't clicked on the graph when you drew the text box. It's always important to make sure you're clicked on the graph anytime you do anything on your graph, so that whatever you have drawn or inserted becomes part of the graph. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to enter in our titles for our scales. So to do that, you're going to click on your graph, go to Layout, go to Axis Titles, go to the primary horizontal axis title first, click on Title below Axis, type in Session, hit the Enter button, then to highlight it to make sure it's the same font size, highlight, and then go to Font 14. Okay, now let's go to the y-axis title by going Axis Title, go to Primary Vertical Axis Title, go to Rotated Title, and then write in frequency of SIB and hit Enter. Again, highlight to change the font size, go to Home, and select 14. Now you're also going to want to change the scale size to 12. Okay. Now the next thing that we need to do is to separate our data from baseline to intervention to baseline to intervention. To do that, you're going to select the first data point of the second condition, which will be data point 6, and select only that data point. Go to Format Data Point, go to Line Color, select No Line, and click Close. Then it should be completely separated. Then go to data point 15, select only that data point, go to Format Data Point, go to Line Color, select No Line, then click Close. Then go to data point 19 and do the same thing. Okay, now to make a clear distinction between all of the conditions, we want to enter in a phase line. So to do that, make sure again you're clicked on your graph, go to Insert, go to Shapes, go to Line, and draw in the line. Right click on the line, format shape, line color, be consistent, go with black. Line style, I like to go with the 4th dash down. Click close, and then you can make the adjustment. Now, copy that and paste. And this is where it gets a little tricky because you need to grab right on that line to move it. You can always adjust it. Okay, and then we need to copy and paste that one more time. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is to draw in our condition labels. To do that again, you need to make sure you're clicked on the graph, go to Insert, go to Shapes, select Text Box, draw a text box, type in BL, highlight, go to size 14, and then we're going to copy that, select Paste, oops, just undo that, copy, then select Paste, and drag that there, copy, paste, and select Paste again. Just move them all into position and then we'll change the font in a second. Also create one for our participant identifier right there. Okay, now just go through and change the ones you need to. And then you can move the box in size if you need to. Okay. Now as you can see, this plot area is a little bit larger than this plot area. So to change the plot area, just click on it and then drag until it's the right size. Okay, and then you can also see the -5 is showing now. So just find that box and drag it over. And then anytime you do anything where you're adjusting your graph, everything gets shifted. So you just need to go through and move everything to where it needs to be. Okay, and that is how you create an ABAB or reversal single subject research design using Microsoft Office Excel 2007 for a PC. I'm going to show you how to create a multiple baseline design graph using Microsoft Office Excel 2007. This is the multiple baseline design graph that we will be creating through this tutorial. Before you can get started, the first thing that you will need to do is to pause this tutorial, go to your Start menu, open up Microsoft Office Excel 2007, and enter in these data as they appear here. Once you've done that, you will need to create two A-B single subject research design graphs, one for Susan, which should appear on the top, and one for Mike, which should appear on the bottom. They need to be formatted exactly as you see here, and once you've done that and you've formatted your graphs and checked to make sure they're formatted exactly the same as these two graphs here, then you can resume with the tutorial. Okay, let's get started. It's important to know that a multiple baseline design is a collection of A-B graphs. So once you've learned how to construct an A-B graph, like you have in a previous tutorial, then it's really just about learning how to put these A-B graphs together so they appear as one graph. And I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing that you need to do is to make sure that your graphs line up and that they're exactly the same size. To do that, what you need to do is take your top graph and make sure that it lines up in a corner of a column and a row. Like here you can see that we started this graph in G and 2, and it lines up perfectly in that corner. You're going to also want to make sure that the bottom right-hand corner of that graph lines up perfectly in a column and a row. And then what you'll do is take your next graph and line that up exactly with that top graph. And it takes a little time to get it perfectly, but you want it to be right on, you don't want any gaps. So once it lines up perfectly, then you know that the width of the graph is accurate. But to make sure that the length of the graph are consistently the same across the graphs, it's best to count down and make sure that the rows are equal. Once you've done that, you can be certain that your graphs are exactly the same size. Okay, now the next thing that you'll need to do is get rid of the border for all of your graphs. To do that, you need to left click on the graph, then right click, then select Format Chart Area, go to Border Color, select No Line, and then click Close. Then do the same thing for the next graph. Left click, right click, Format Chart Area, Border Color, No Line, and then Close. The next thing that you'll need to do is get rid of the x-axis scale labels for Susan's graph. To do that, you're going to select the x-axis scale by clicking left on the scale, then right-clicking, then selecting Format Axis. You will then want to go to Axis Labels and select None, then click Close. Then click off of the graph. Now the next step that we will be doing is creating this y-axis scale title. To do that, what we're going to do is go up to the Insert tab, go to Shapes, go to Text Box, and then we're going to draw a text box across the two graphs. Then we're going to type in frequency of stealing. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to right click on the text box, go to Format Shape, go to Line Color, make sure there's no line, then go to Text Box. For vertical alignment, select Top Centered. For text direction, select Rotate All Text 270 degrees. Then click Close. Now you'll need to highlight that text and change the font size, and we're going to select 20. Then all you'll need to do is just move the text box accordingly so that it doesn't interfere with the scales and that it's centered across those two graphs. And if you have more than two graphs, then you're going to need to center it across all of the graphs. Then you'll click off of that. Now the next thing that you'll need to do is to create a phase line that goes across your graphs. To do that, you're going to go to the Insert tab, you're going to select Shapes, you're going to go to Lines, and you're going to select the Freeform. Click on that. Then you're going to start your line by left clicking, then drawing the line down. And if you make a mistake, like I just did, you just click off of it, click on it, select Cut, and then it's gone. And then just go back up and do the same thing. So you left click, then drag it down to where you want it to, then left click, then drag it over, then left click, then drag down. Then left click, and then double left click to finish it. Then what you're going to do is format that shape. You format that shape by right clicking, selecting Format Shape, Line Color, select Black, and then go to Line Style and select the fourth dash type. And click Close. Now if you need to adjust your line, you can do that by just grabbing onto the shape and moving it to where you need it to be. You want to make sure that it doesn't come across or go through any of your data points, that it goes in between the conditions. Once you've done that, click off your graph. Okay. Now as you can see, our graphs are formatted exactly the same. What we need to do though is we need to group everything together, because if you were to import this into PowerPoint or Word, it would appear as separate components. Susan would be a separate component, Mike would be, the phase line would be, and the y-axis title would be as well. So in order to group it together so that it appears as one graph, I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to select the control button and hold it down. You're going to left click on Mike's graph, then left click on Susan's graph. Then you're going to left click on the shape, and you're going to left click on the title. Then, still holding down the control button, you're going to right click, and you're going to go select group, and then go to group and left click. Now it should appear as one shape, and what that means is if you move it, everything should move with it. If it doesn't, then just hit the undo button and repeat that process again. Okay? And that is how you make a multiple baseline design graph using Microsoft Office Excel 2007. I'm going to show you how to create an alternating treatments design graph using Microsoft Office Excel 2007. This is the alternating treatments design graph that we will be creating during this tutorial. Before you get started, please go to your Start menu and open up Microsoft Office Excel 2007 and enter in these data as they appear right here. Then resume with the tutorial. The first thing we're going to do is highlight these data. Go to the Insert tab, select Line, select 2D line with markers. Then to make sure it's the same size as our example graph, start the graph in the corner of F and 2. And then drag that down to match our example graph. Okay, now let's start formatting. Select on the legend and select Delete. Select on the major grid lines and select Delete. Now let's format the scales. Let's start with the x-axis scale. Right click, select Format Axis. For major tick mark type, select None. For minor, select Outside. And make sure that between tick marks for position axis is selected. Then go up to the top, click Home, and select 12 for the font. Then go to the y-axis scale. Right click on it, select Format Axis. For fixed, type in -1. Leave 20 for maximum. Select 1. Enter in 1 for major and 1 for minor. For the axis value, enter in -1. Select Close. Then change the font size to 12. Now let's cover that -1. Select your graph. Go to Insert. Go to Shapes. Select the text box. Draw over the -1. Right click on the shape. Select Format Shape. Select Solid. Select White if it's not selected already. Go to Line Color. Make sure there's no line color. And select Close. Adjust the text box. Remove the text box if you need to. Okay. Now let's connect our data series with a line. To do that, select on a data series by clicking left, then click right, and go to Select Data. Go to Hidden and Empty Cells and select that button, and then click on Connect Data Points with Line. Select OK. It will return you back to this menu and hit OK. And now all of your data series should be connected with a line. Now let's format each data series. Right click, go to Format Data Series, go to Marker Fill, select Solid and choose Black. Do that for line color, solid, and choose black, and marker line color, solid, and select black, and hit close. Do that for the next data series. And do that for the next data series. And for the last data series, you're going to do something different. Go to Format Data Series as you have been, go to Marker Options, select Built-in. We're going to change this so it's more visible to a circle, and then change the size to a 10. Then go to Marker Fill and change it to black, line color to black, and marker line color to black. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to click on the plot area, and we're going to change the plot area to match to this plot area. Okay, and we're going to insert the titles. So go to Layout, select Axis Title, go to Primary Horizontal Axis Title, select Title below Axis, and type in Session. Then highlight that and change it to 14. Do that again for the Y-axis. Go to Primary Vertical Axis Title, select Rotated Title, and type in Frequency of Picking Skin. Hit Enter and change that font to 14. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, again, adjust this plot area to move this over just a little bit because I see some crowding before we enter in our condition labels. So do that, again, grab onto that, and let's just grab this over and move it over a little bit. Okay, now that's not crowded anymore. Now find your text box and make sure you cover that -1. Okay, now let's enter in the condition labels. To do that, click on the graph, go to Insert, go to Shapes, go to Text Box, draw a text box, and type in Escape. Highlight, and then go to font size, which is 14. Then you're going to copy this, and you're going to click to paste, and you're going to move that to where you need to move it for all of these. Again, click paste again. And paste again. And paste one more time for the participant identifier. Okay, now let's go ahead and change all the names to correspond with the names on our example graph. Okay, now the last thing you need to do is to enter in the arrows to make sure that it's clear to your readers which condition belongs to each of these names. So to do that, you click on your graph, go to Insert, go to Shapes, select the line that's an arrow, and then draw the arrow, right click on that arrow, go to Format Shape, select line color, and choose black. Now you can copy and paste this for each of these conditions, or you can draw in the line. I like to draw in the line because I don't think the copy and the paste is really a shortcut, because sometimes the line can get cut up in here and it can be more frustrating. So go ahead and do that, whatever one you choose for each condition. Just make adjustments where you need to. And now the graph should look like your example graph. And that's how you make an alternating treatments design using Microsoft Excel 2007.